Let me firstly indicate that it's been a very long road. We've been anticipating this moment for quite some time. This is a culmination of great detective work by KZN, led by Lieutenant General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi. You will recall that the two Ndimande brothers, they were the first two suspects that were arrested in the AKA and Tibz murder case. Our team traced them to Eswatini, and that is when we then requested the Eswatini authorities to assist us in apprehending them. And they were then apprehended. But you'll recall that news then started, making headlines, and our strategy then was let us round up everyone before we announced to the nation that we had arrested and traced the suspects to Eswatini. But be that as it may, they were the first two suspects, and 2 days later we then rounded up the remaining 5 that were in South Africa. So in total we have 7 suspects. I can confirm that a high-risk team has left South Africa. They are on their way to the King Mswati International Airport. On board is Interpol officers. We also have the Human Rights Commission observers. We've got 2 observers on board to ensure that the extradition process takes place in a fair and proper manner and that all legal prescripts are followed. We also have our special task force operators, our elite members that are also forming part of this operation. So upon arrival at the King Mswati International Airport, the Interpol officers will then meet with Eswatini Interpol. They will then do the handing over, and then the suspects will then be escorted back to South Africa. Upon arrival in South Africa at the King Shaka International Airport, Interpol officers will then meet with the lead investigator in this case, who will then execute the J50 warrant of arrest. You'll recall that they are wanted in 3 cases. The first one being the murder of a taxi boss in Amanzimtoti in 2022, where they are facing 5 charges. The second case is that one of AKA and Tibz, where they are facing about 11 charges. The third case, it was also in Durban, where they attempted to kill the wife of a taxi boss. They are facing about 8 charges on that particular case. They also murdered the driver of that taxi boss. So in total, 24 charges. So the lead investigator will execute those warrants of arrest. He will then place them under arrest, take their warning statement. They will be informed of the reasons for their arrest. They will be charged. Will follow the necessary processes, your fingerprints and so on. They will be then given a right of reply, whether they respond in writing, whether they respond through their attorneys, or whether they will respond to court. In court, they will be processed at Durban Central, and then thereafter we proceed to court, where they will appear before a magistrate.
Brigadier, you mentioned a number of cases, and we're aware that they are facing all these charges. When they appear this morning, will they be appearing for all of those matters that you're talking about?
Absolutely, they will be appearing for all those matters. As I've indicated, we have obtained a J50 warrant of arrest on the 3 matters. The murder of the taxi boss that happened in 2022 in Amanzimtoti, the murder of AKA and Tibz, as well as the attempted murder of the wife of the taxi boss. And what is interesting is that we do believe that one of the 2 brothers that we are extraditing today from Eswatini is maybe one of them that actually pulled the trigger and shot AKA. So it's quite an important moment for us. We have been anticipating this moment for quite some time, and the National Commissioner would really like to thank firstly the Provincial Commissioner of KZN, Lieutenant General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, and his team that have worked tirelessly on this case up until now. I'd like to thank the Director of Public Prosecutions in KZN, who has been by our side from start up until now, the NPA and so on. So it was a great teamwork and collaboration, but most importantly, the Eswatini authorities, in that when we made the call and we alerted them that there are 2 career hitmen in your country, there are 2 contract killers that, literally survive on killing people. And they did not hesitate to assist the South African Police Service. So for that, on behalf of the National Commissioner, we'd like to thank them for their support and their cooperation up until now.
Before I let you go, I want to just confirm this. The investigations in relation to these 2, to the Ndimande brothers, has that been completed? Why I ask you that is because when you look at the other 5, they are ready for trial at some point next year, I think in July. So does this mean that once we are past these processes, will these two be able to join the others for that trial in July?
Well, we are hoping. We will get a directive from the magistrate, but we are ready for the trial that will start. It will take place between the 20th of July next year and the 20th of August. We are quite confident that the evidence that we have gathered is enough to really ensure a successful conviction. We do believe that the two brothers, we can positively place them on the crime scene where AKA and Tibz died, as well as the murder of the taxi boss, as well as the attempted murder of the wife of the taxi boss. So we're quite confident of the case that we have on hand. You recall that we did not rush in this case to execute arrests. Yes. It took a long time. Remember, AKA and Tibz died on, I think it was the 10th of February 2023, and the first arrests were only made a year later in February 2024. It does tell you that we took our time. We wanted to make sure so that when we do execute the arrests, then we ensure a watertight case is brought before court.